The next section we're going to be covering is 8.4, and it is actually area of composite figures. But before we can look at composite figures, which you might have remembered from section 8.2, it just means many shapes put together, we need to remember some of our other formulas. All right, so some of the ones we're going to be looking at is a rectangle. And we know a rectangle, the area equals length times width. Or we could have also said base times height. It means the same thing. Okay. We need to know the area of a triangle. Okay. So again, this would be our base or our length. This would be our height or our width. So here is our base, here is our height. Now, we've talked about before, the area of a triangle is really just a rectangle, right? But it is cut in half. So our formula for area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. And then we have something known as our trapezoid. Okay. Now these, as you can see, there is a base, but it looks like there are two of them. So base 1 and base 2. And as all the others, we need a height. The height always is shown with a 90-degree angle. It is not these sides. It has to be something that is straight with a 90-degree angle. The area of a trapezoid equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. Okay. Now, yes, there are triangles here, so you could do this as a rectangle and a triangle. It's a little bit easier this way, I believe. So these are the formulas we're going to be using, and we are going to be looking at this sheet. Okay. So the first one, our length is 3 inches, so that means down here. Our width is 1.5 inch. So when we find area, we're going to do base times height, length times width, whichever one you're working with. So we have 3 times 1.5. Okay. And when you type that in, we get 3 times 1.5, and we get 4.5. So this is 4.5. We have an inch times an inch, so it is an inch squared. Alrighty. The next one is our triangle. We know the formula is area equals 1/2 base times height. We're given a base of 4 centimeters. Okay, that's this whole thing here. We have a height. Now, again, our height must have a 90-degree angle. So our height has to be from the tip to the bottom, and it has to include the 90-degree angle. And that height is going to be 3 centimeters. Okay? So when we do this, we can take 1/2 times our base, which is the 4, times our height, which is the 3. I know 4 times 3 is 12, and cut 12 in half is 6, again, centimeters squared. Alrighty. Our trapezoid, we said our area equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. It's really still just the triangle formula, except we have to figure that there are 2 bases. So we have a base of 4 meters, so that one will be up here, and 6 meters, so that one will be down here. Okay, so we can fill that in, 1/2 4 plus 6 times our height. Well, our height has to be with the 90-degree angle. Okay, and he is 3 meters. So we're going to put in a 3 here. Now, we have to follow PEMDAS, so it's 1/2, but we have to work this first. So 4 plus 6 is 10, right? And then we're going to multiply by the 3. You can easily work this one out. Half of 10 is 5. 5 times 3 is 15 meters squared. You could have also done 10 times 3 is 30 and cut that in half. Okay, so that is review. Those are 6th grade standards. But now we're going to put it together for something such as this. Okay, now in this figure, I can see that I have a semicircle. So I'm going to call that area 1. All right. So area of 1, we need to think about our circle. Let's go ahead and write that down with these, the rest of these. Our circle is area equals pi r squared. So I'm going to take pi r squared, but it is a semicircle, so again we have to remember to cut that in half. The diameter is 14, which means if my diameter is 14, then my radius is half of that, so 7. So I'm going to take pi times 7 squared times 1/2. Okay. 7 squared is 49, so I have 49 pi, but I have to remember to cut that in half. And now when I punch that in, we can put it in all together. We have 49 times 3.14 times half, which I know is 0.5. That gives us 76.93. Okay, so that's just for this piece. But now I have, let me do this in different colors so you can see, I have this piece, which I'm going to call area of 2. So area of 2, I have to figure out what shape this is. But if I look at it this way, I can see that's a trapezoid, can't I? Here's that height. Here's base 1. Here's base 2. Okay. So I am going to use the trapezoid formula, which is 1/2 the quantity base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times 1/2. Okay. So 1/2, I'm going to fill in 18 as a base and 24 as a base. Oops, not 1/2, sorry, times the height. Now my height is this actually, because that's a 90 degree, so that's going to be 14 centimeters. Right? We have to remember to do the parentheses first, so 1/2. We have 18 plus 24, and that is 42, times that 14. Okay? I'm just going to go ahead, those are bigger numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply this. So 0.5 times 42 times 14, and that equals 294. Now, to finish this problem, we have to put them together. Just like the shape is put together, we're going to add these two to get our total area of this composite shape. So we're going to take that 294 plus 76.93, and that gives us this number, so 370.93, and we are in centimeters, and since we were area, squared. Alrighty. So you do need to memorize these formulas. Make sure that you are able to use them all. And then you can divide them in whatever makes sense to you. But you need to always show which piece has which area. Alrighty?